So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at modifying this gear. This is the candy release gear, if you will, and it's currently too big. And so we have to make it smaller. So the first thing we need to know is we need to know how big this circle is. So we will select our part here, and then we'll hit the U key on our keyboard. That will take us into our measure tool. And you can also access the measure tool right there. And we're going to select 2 points. So we're going to come over here and select right there. And then come over here and select there. And then that tells us, you see, that is 43 millimeters. And so now we know what size circle that is, or pretty close to it. Hit the escape key and the escape key again, and hit it one more time, and that will kind of get us back out here. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to fill in this circle. So anywhere on your build plate, just right click, and we're going to choose add primitive, and we're going to add a cylinder. And there's our cylinder. And now we know that this cylinder, we could resize it. So I'm going to hit the S key on my keyboard for scaling, but we can also access the icon here. And instead of 43, I'm going to make this 46. Slightly oversized. There we go. And now we can go ahead and move this into position here. So we'll just grab it and we'll just move it into position here like so. Okay. Now, it's going to help us to visualize this all better if we know what the height of this part is and make our cylinder that same height. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and select our part again and hit the U key on our keyboard for our measure tool and select that vertical face. How tall is that? That is 9.791, or excuse me, 19.791. So now we will make this part the same size. So we'll go back to scale. Here in our Z direction, 19.791. And now you will see that this is the same height. And see where I said, see how we see the overlap here? So now we know where to kind of move the cylinder. So we'll hit the M key on our keyboard. That will bring us into our move tool. Now, in order to move it, you need to select these little arrows, okay, in order to adjust it. So we're going to first adjust it this way, and then we're going to adjust it this way. And what we're looking for is a little bit of black all the way around. Okay, that's kind of what we're looking for. And that is going to be close enough, okay? So you can see on the back side here, we have maybe more overlap than we do on the front side, but it's pretty close. If we want to try and get it a little bit more accurate, maybe we can. Honestly, for what we're doing, that's close enough, okay? So now, here's the thing. I have already printed this gear one time with a reduced circle, and I did it at 1 inch, and it releases about 11 pieces of candy at 1 inch. So we need it to be smaller than an inch. Now, if you don't know, the metric conversion for an inch is 25.4 millimeters. So for rough figuring, we say 25. And at 25, it releases about 11 pieces of candy, and that's too much. So we need a circle that is probably, I'm going to make my circle 16 millimeters. So half of an inch is 12 and a half millimeters, and that is roughly, so if the volume at an inch releases 11 pieces of candy, in theory, at 12 and a half, it should release half that much, right? Back to 5 or 6 pieces that we're after. But I don't want to print it at 12 and a half and then it not release the number of candies I want. I would rather be a little bit bigger than a little bit smaller. So I'm going to say I'm going to make mine, let's just do it 15 millimeters. Let's just call it good at 15, okay? So what we need to do then is we need to take this cylinder and we need to duplicate it. So I just hit Control C on my keyboard, that copies, and then Control V to paste. Now I need this circle back to the same exact location as the other one. So how do we do this? Well, first of all, I'd like to rename this cylinder. So we'll come over here to Objects, and let's rename this cylinder, and we're going to call it, we just click there, and let's just call it Remove Cylinder, so it's a little bit easier to know what is actually what here. And then we're going to go ahead and reposition this. Now in Bamboo Studio, there's no way to take a shape and snap the center of this shape to the center of another shape. I'm used to using SketchUp. In SketchUp, we actually have that capability. It's real easy. You can pick it up right here from the center, drop it right here on this center, all is good. Works really well, but Bamboo Studio doesn't have that. So we're going to use a bit of a hack here in Bamboo Studio. We're going to click on this cylinder, and then we'll go to our Move tool, right? M on our keyboard, or we could access it right here. And we want to move it in the Y direction on the green axis here. So we just click right here. It's just in that field, and you see that's already highlighted, right? 156.79. Now if I click on this one, watch what happens. That 156.79 is automatically put in that field for us. So when I hit the Enter key, boop, it automatically moves it into position like we need it to. That's kind of cool. So now we need to scale this. Okay, so we'll hit the S key on our keyboard to scale our remove cylinder here. There it is. And we need to make it, we said we're going to make it 15 millimeters. Okay, there you go. And then I do want to adjust the height of it just to help us visualize this a little bit better. So now that's how big our circle is going to be. All right, and we're gonna assume, so it looks like a small hole, but it's also quite deep. Okay, you gotta think this is 19 millimeters deep, so the candies are gonna fall in there, and hopefully that'll give us about 5 or 6 candies. So now what I need to do is I need to select both of these cylinders and remove the smaller cylinder from the larger one. So we'll go ahead and select the one cylinder, and then we'll control click over here on the left and select the other cylinder. And there you go. And now we can go ahead and choose the mesh boolean. We are going to be doing a subtraction, and we're going to be subtracting the green. So we're going to be subtracting the remove cylinder from the other cylinder. So we'll go ahead and hit execute. And Bob's your uncle. There we go. So now the only thing really left to do is to change the color of this. So we're going to go ahead and set it to filament 2 because this one is the filament 2 color. So we'll go ahead and set it to 2. Now for filament 2, it's saying PLA matte, but I'm actually going to just set it to generic PLA here. Okay, that's what we're going to actually print. So there's our hole for our candies to slide into. So it's significantly smaller, and we're going to hope that that's big enough. Now we also need to print these two things. These two things are going to go into this piece, but we do not need to reprint this. And this little spline is meant to hold these two pieces together, but I just use a little dab of glue. So I tried to put that little spline in. I don't know if you could see it here, but there is, see how these have a hole in there in them for that spline to fit into, but this is so microscopic. I found it very difficult to fit in there. So, and it's totally unnecessary in my opinion. So we're not even gonna print that. Okay, so we're not gonna stress that. All right, so there we go. So this is the one that we are going to print for our smaller candy slot there. Okay, so that's it for this one. Now our next thing that we're going to move on to is we're going to show you how to go about modifying the lid in part 3 here we're going to show you how to modify this lid so we could turn the threads 180 degrees. I will link to part 1 and the other parts of this series of edits that we're going to be making for this particular model in the video description below. So again, this is part 2, and then we're going to move on to part 3 here. And then finally, we'll go on to part 4, and then we'll look at making the base for this in part 5. So that's it for part 2. Thanks for watching. I am so sorry, but we're back here for part 2. I forgot something very, very, very important, and that is to go ahead and slice this for you, because I realized as I was moving on to part 3, I was like, oh, I forgot something that's very important. So let me go ahead and slice this for you and explain what our issue is. So the splicer, or the we're gonna when we go this splices for us, but it's gonna run into a problem. And what we're gonna do when we get down here and look, we're gonna see that there's an issue, and it will tell us what that issue is. And essentially, what it's going to do, it's going to say there's a conflict. And the reason that there's a conflict is we have two individual parts fighting one another. And so it will, you can see here it's generating the G code, but it will tell us that there's an issue that it came across. Now it didn't, yes, right here. See there? It says serious warning. Conflicts of G code paths have been found. And if we, let me just go, so just so you can visualize this, I'm glad I kind of forgot to do it, because it is something that's really important. But as we go down here, you see right here, there's some walls. See these walls? And that's because there's two separate objects. And that's where the conflict is happening. And there's a reason for that. And the reason that that's happening, let's go back to the Prepare tab. The reason that's happening is this piece here and this piece here are individual objects. And we need those to be part of the assembly. So, let's see here. So there is our horizontal gear assembly. And we need to connect our, well, let's see what we could do here. So there's that piece, which is our cylinder boolean. And then there is our horizontal gear assembly. And then we're going to right click and choose merge. And now we're telling the slicer that those are one piece, so treat it as such. Now there's still actually two pieces there, but the way the slicer is going to look at it, so we're going to go ahead and choose slice plate here. It's going to look at that as one, so it will yield us slightly different slicing results. This is a fairly complicated object with lots of angles and so forth, so it takes a little bit to figure out exactly what it needs to make here. So there we go. So now we're at that same level we were at, but you see there's no walls. So it's not treating those two things as separate objects. There's the three walls here, and there you go. So slightly different results. So that's the big thing. Make sure that once you've completed your edits, that the pieces that you want to be essentially printed as one are part of an assembly, so that the slicer knows that these all go together. Treat this as one, even though they are separate objects. All right? So that's it for that. I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that, that's how that has to be in order to print properly.